First Blood is a 1982 American action film starring Sylvester Stallone as Vietnam War veteran John Rambo. The film was directed by Ted Kotcheff and co-written by Michael Kozal, William Sackheim, and Stallone based on the 1972 novel First Blood by David Morrell. It is the first installment in the Rambo film series. The story follows Rambo, who, after entering a small town and clashing with the police, attempts to fight in order to survive a manhunt using his expertise in survival and combat skills obtained from fighting in Vietnam. The film co-stars Richard Crenna as Rambo's mentor Colonel Sam Trotman and Brian Dennehy as Sheriff Will Teasel. First Blood was released in the United States on October 22, 1982. Initial reviews were mixed, but the film was a box office success, grossing $125.2 million, and becoming the 13th highest grossing film at the domestic box office for the year and the 7th highest grossing film worldwide. In 1985, it also became the first Hollywood blockbuster to be released in China, holding the record for the largest number of tickets sold for an American film until 2018. Since its release, it has been repraised by critics, with many highlighting the roles of Stallone, Dennehy and Crenna, and recognizing it as an influential film in the action genre. The film's success spawned the Rambo franchise, consisting of 4 sequels co-written by and starring Stallone, an animated television series, a comic book series, a novelization series and several video games. It was followed by Rambo, First Blood Part 2, released in 1985. A prequel, John Rambo, is scheduled to be released in 2027. Plot. In December 1981, United States Army Vietnam War veteran John Rambo visits the home of his Army buddy Delmar Berry and learns that he has died from the effects of Agent Orange exposure. Wandering aimlessly on foot, he arrives at the town of Hope, Washington. Local Sheriff Will Teasel spots him and drives him to the other side of town, telling him that he is not welcome. Feeling slighted, Rambo begins to return to town, where Teasel quickly arrests him and leaves him to be processed under the supervision of cruel Chief Deputy Art Galt, who leads other deputies in harshly abusing Rambo. The abuse triggers flashbacks to torture that Rambo endured in Vietnam. Overpowering the deputies and taking back his field knife, he steals a civilian's motorcycle, and the police chase him into the surrounding mountains. He evades capture. Teasel organizes a search party with his fellow deputies, air support, and dogs. Galt ignores Teasel's orders and attempts to shoot Rambo from a low-flying helicopter, but falls to his death when Rambo throws a rock that causes the pilot to lose control. Teasel soon learns that Rambo is a former Special Forces soldier and recipient of the Medal of Honor, but refuses to cancel the search. Not wanting to cause more trouble, Rambo attempts to surrender, but is fired upon by the deputies and flees into the tree line. Rambo uses bushcraft to create traps to subdue the pursuing officers, threatening Teasel at knife point to abandon his pursuit before fleeing further into the woods. Washington State Patrol officers and Washington National Guard forces are dispatched to assist with the search, along with Rambo's mentor and former commanding officer Colonel Samuel Trotman. Trotman expresses surprise that Rambo did not kill Teasel and all of his men, and advises him to relent, but Teasel once again refuses. Over radio, Rambo refuses Trotman's pleas to surrender, condemning Teasel and his men and insisting that they drew first blood. Rambo falls back to an abandoned mine, where National Guard units fire an M72 law to collapse the mine after suppressive fire fails to force Rambo to surrender. Teasel and the others initially presume Rambo to be dead, but Rambo escapes the mine through a ventilation shaft. He hijacks a military transport truck and drives back to town, intent on confronting Teasel. Trotman again fails to convince Teasel to cancel the pursuit. Rambo destroys his stolen truck in a gas station explosion, then shoots power lines to most of the town and detonates explosives in a gun store. After shooting indiscriminately in the sheriff's office, Rambo shoots Teasel in the leg, grievously injuring him with an M60 machine gun that Rambo had taken from the military truck. Before Rambo can kill Teasel, Trotman arrives and demands that Rambo stand down. Rambo decries the emptiness of civilian life and the hostility of the anti-war movement, before breaking down as he recounts the horror of seeing his friend blown up. Trotman comforts Rambo before escorting him into federal custody. Teasel is taken to an ambulance for treatment of his injuries. Cast. Main article, list of Rambo characters. Sylvester Stallone as John Rambo. Richard Crenna as Colonel Sam Trotman. Brian Dennehy as Sheriff William Will Teasel. Bill McKinney as Captain Dave Kern. Jack Starrett as Deputy Sergeant Arthur Art Galt. Michael Talbot as Deputy Balford. Chris Mulkey as Deputy Ward. John McLeam as Orville Kellerman. Alf Humphreys as Deputy Lester. David Caruso as Deputy Mitch Rogers. David L. Crowley as Deputy Shingleton. Don McKay as Deputy Preston. Patrick Stack as Lieutenant Clinton Morgan. Production. Development. In 1972, Canadian-American author David Morrell's debut novel First Blood was published by Rowman and Littlefield. In 1985, Sylvester Stallone alleged that the original novel took so long to get done because the story was so bloodthirsty. However, Morrell asserted that the novel's adaptation to film was delayed for 10 years due to shifting studios' options. 8. At the time of the novel's release, Lawrence Terman at Columbia Pictures bought the film rights to the novel for $175,000. Richard Brooks was slated to direct, and intended to have the film be an allegory on differing American perceptions of World War II and Vietnam War veterans, with Sheriff Will Teasel portrayed more sympathetically than in the novel. The film would have ended with Teasel ordering his men to drop their guns to try to reason with John Rambo, who would have then been fatally shot by an unknown assailant. Brooks planned to start shooting First Blood in New Mexico in December 1972. 9. The film did not proceed because the Vietnam War was still underway and Brooks left the project. Citation needed. Afterward, John Calley purchased the rights at Warner Brothers Pictures for $125,000 with the thought of casting either Robert De Niro or Clint Eastwood as Rambo. A screenplay was written by Walter Newman with Martin Ritt intended to direct. The film would have criticized American military culture and portrayed Colonel Sam Trotman as the film's villain, ending with both Rambo and Teasel dying. 4. Sidney Pollack and Martin Bregman also considered directing the film, with Bregman hiring David Raby to write a script. After Bregman departed, Mike Nichols considered directing Raby's script. William Sackheim and Michael Kozol wrote the screenplay that would be the basis of the final film in 1977, originally intending for John Badham to direct. Producer Carter DeHaven purchased Sackheim and Kozol's script from Warner Brothers for $375,000. DeHaven secured the Cinema Group as a financier and hired John Frankenheimer as director, with production to begin in Georgia. This was also the first version of the script in which Rambo survived the film. However, the project stalled again after the distributor Filmways was acquired by Orion Pictures. 4. After Mario Kassar and Andrew G. Vagina of Anabasis Investments read the book, they became interested in doing an adaptation as the first production of their studio Carolco Pictures, funded by in-house sources. They purchased the film rights from Warner Brothers for $375,000 and Sackheim and Kozol's script for $125,000 in 1981. 9. Ted Kotcheff, who had been involved in the project in 1976, returned after Kassar and Vagina offered to finance one of his projects. 5. Kotcheff offered the role of John Rambo to Sylvester Stallone, and the actor accepted after reading the script through in a day. 11. While various adapted screenplays had been pitched to studios in the years following the novel's 1972 publication, the project moved into active production under the administrative and financial direction of producers Mario Kassar and Andrew G. Vagina, utilizing a structural framework established by primary screenwriters Michael Kozol and William Sackheim. 8. Under Writers Guild of America, UGA, guidelines, the theatrical screenplay credit is legally assigned to Kozol and Sackheim, with Sylvester Stallone listed in the third position. 12. This specific credits hierarchy denotes that Kozal and Sackheim executed the film's foundational narrative architecture, pacing, and thematic framework in their 1977 draft, while Stallone's third position credit indicates localized, late-stage dialogue revisions rather than a structural overhaul of the text. 8. Under these same guild rules, subsequent script Polish work by additional studio-hired writers was legally deemed insufficient to qualify for formal screen credit. 8. While Kozal and Sackheim's original draft had already scaled down the book's casualties to 16, the narrative was structurally refocused to eliminate all intentional casualties by the protagonist, filtering the plot's sole casualty down to the singular, accidental death of Deputy Galt. 8. This structural shift, alongside Stallone's late-stage adjustments that stripped the protagonist's spoken lines to fewer than 400 words, shifted the dramatic burden to external exposition and rendered the role heavily reliant on nonverbal, physical performance rather than original text. 13. Contrary to subsequent public folklore popularized by Stallone claiming he was horrified by an initial 3.5-hour rough cut and attempted to buy back the negative from the studio to destroy it, official production records confirm no such extended cut existed. 8. Kasser and Vagina maintained total administrative control over the edit, explicitly engineering and pacing the film from its inception to fit a tight 93-minute theatrical window. 14. While an ending in which Rambo dies was originally filmed to match the tragic conclusion of the novel, the decision to implement the backup survival footage was an administrative mandate enforced by Kasser and Vagina solely because the initial test screening in a Las Vegas suburb triggered a volatile and physically hostile audience reaction. 15. The test audience vocally reacted against the protagonist's death, shouting and throwing objects in the theater, with one attendee declaring that director should be strung up from the nearest lamppost. 8. Driven strictly by this massive market liability, the producers overrode the original cut and ordered the theatrical print re-edited to utilize the survival ending. 8. The fully produced ending in which Rambo dies was never suppressed or bought out, and remains widely commercially accessible as a standard supplementary feature on various DVD and Blu-ray home media releases, featuring an audio commentary track by original author David Morrell. 16. Casting. During the film's extended development cycle throughout the 1970s, numerous actors and directors were loosely attached to or considered for the project, including Clint Eastwood, Al Pacino, Paul Newman, James Caan, Robert Redford, Burt Reynolds, and Steve McQueen. 17. However, active production only mobilized under producers Mario Kasser and Andrew G. Vagina, who built the film's dramatic credibility around the established track records of veteran actors Brian Dennehy as Sheriff Teasel and Richard Crenna as Colonel Trotman. Kirk Douglas was originally cast as Trotman and reported to the British Columbia set during the third week of principal photography. 17. While subsequent public accounts, including Douglas's autobiography, claimed his departure was due to a creative dispute over restoring the novel's original ending, actual production records and daily filming diaries maintained by director Ted Kotcheff reveal that Douglas was dismissed due to highly disruptive on-set behavior. 17. According to Kotcheff's logs, Douglas consistently spoke about himself in the third person and repeatedly attempted to claim dialogue written for other characters. Douglas frequently halted active scenes by demanding to absorb the lines of the local law enforcement, declaring, "Kirk doesn't say these lines. The sheriff doesn't say it. Kirk Douglas should have this line." 17. Kotcheff called Richard Crenna over the weekend to recruit him as a last-minute replacement. 19. Crenna flew out immediately, arrived on set, and promptly began filming his scenes to keep the production on schedule. 19. Filming. The Bridge in Hope, British Columbia, used during production. The film was shot in the Fraser Valley of British Columbia on a $15 million budget beginning on November 15, 1981, and continuing until April 1982. 11. The town scenes in the movie were shot in Hope and the nearby Coquihalla Canyon Provincial Park, called Chapman Gorge in the film. 20. While the rest of the movie was shot in Capilano Canyon, Golden Ears Provincial Park and Pitt Lake in Pitt Meadows. During the production buzzfight, Shans replaced producer Ed Carlin, who suffered a heart attack. 4-9. The locations chosen for the film initially experienced unseasonably warm and sunny weather during the filming, which posed challenges since the crew had counted on an overcast setting. However, a period of heavy snowfall beginning in January 1982 delayed the production by 2 months. Other delays were caused by injuries to the cast during stunts, including Stallone sustaining a serious back injury and several broken ribs, in particular, due to performing his own stunt of dropping off a cliff and into a tree. 21-22-9. Since the production ran over schedule, Crenna's role in the film was reduced in order to avoid having to pay him higher fees as specified in his contract. 23. The firearms used in the film had to be imported into Canada because of the country's firearms regulation. 24-25. In January 1982, over $50,000 worth of firearms including 14 M16 rifles, 3 Remington shotguns, 2.44 Magnum revolvers, and 11 Colt AR-15 rifles were stolen from the set. Although the guns had been modified to shoot blanks, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police claimed that they could be easily modified to fire live ammunition. After the incident, the set was guarded by the Canadian Army, whose soldiers also served as extras in the film. 23-9. Post-production. The finalized 93-minute theatrical cut was engineered from inception by producers Mario Kassar and Andrew G. Vagina to optimize pacing and action, utilizing the backup survival ending mandated by the Las Vegas test market research. 23. Kassar and Vagina sought either Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox or Paramount Pictures as a distributor, displaying an 18-minute promotional reel to studios. Although they secured international distributors, they were unable to locate a domestic distributor to the film until they sent a longer 55-minute reel to the American film market. After Warner Brothers and Paramount expressed interest, Orion Pictures agreed to the domestic distribution of the film. 9. Music. Main article, First Blood, soundtrack. The film's score was composed and conducted by Jerry Goldsmith, whose theme "It's a Long Road" added a new dimension to the character, and featured in the film's 3 sequels and animated spin-off Rambo, The Force of Freedom. The soundtrack was originally released on LP by the Regency label, although it was edited out of sequence for a more satisfying listen. The album was reissued on CD with 1 extra track, No Power, twice, first as one of Intrada Records' initial titles, then as an identical release by Varese Sarabande. The complete score was released by Intrada in a 2-CD set, along with a remastered version of the original album, with the Carolco logo previously released on La La Land Records' Extreme Prejudice album and the Rambo, First Blood Part 2 trailer music added, on November 23, 2010, as one of their MAF Unlimited titles. Reception. Box office. First Blood topped the US box office for 3 weeks in a row 26 and its $6,642,005 opening weekend was the best October opening at the time. 11. The film ended as a significant financial success, with a total gross of $64 million domestically, the highest grossing film of the fall. 27 and the 13th highest grossing film of the year. 28. The film grossed $160.3 million worldwide, against a $15 million budget. 6. It was the first major Hollywood blockbuster to be released in China, where it was released in 1985. 29. It sold 76 million tickets in China, the highest for a foreign Hollywood film up until 2018. Critical response. The film received mixed reviews from critics, and 3 lead actors received praise for their performances. In his review, Roger Ebert wrote that he did not like the film's ending, but added it was a very good movie, well-paced, and well-acted not only by Stallone, but also by Crenna and Brian Dennehy. He commented, "Although almost all of First Blood is implausible, because it's Stallone on the screen, we'll buy it," and rated the film 3 out of 4 stars. 30. The New York Times film critic Janet Maslin described Rambo as a fierce, agile, hollow-eyed hero who is portrayed as a tormented, misunderstood, amazingly resourceful victim of the Vietnam War, rather than as a sadist or a villain. Maslin also praised the film's story for its energy and ingenuity. 31 Conversely, Variety called the film a mess and criticized its ending for not providing a proper resolution for the main character. 32 Film writer Jack Hawkins took a different view on the ending, praising the scene for containing the finest acting of Stallone's career, adding, "There are no one-liners, no showy acts of bravado, just messy emotion without any catharsis. Stallone couldn't have played the scene better and neither could anyone else." 33. First Blood has been considered as belonging to the vetsploitation subgenre. 34, 35, 36, 37. In 2000, BBC film critic Almar Haflidason noted that Stallone's training in survival skills and hand-to-hand combat gave the film a raw and authentic edge that excited the audiences of the time. 38. Film.com and film site regard First Blood as one of the best films of 1982, 39/40, and in 2008 it was named the 253rd greatest film ever by Empire magazine on its 2008 list of the 500 greatest movies of all time. 41 In 2015, Rolling Stone ranked the movie at number 7 on a 10 best action movies of all time. 42. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an 86% approval rating based on 49 reviews, with an average rating of 7.20/10. The site's critics' consensus reads, "Much darker and more sensitive than the sequels it spawned, First Blood is a thrilling survival adventure that takes full advantage of Sylvester Stallone's acting skills." 43. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 61 out of 100 based on 15 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 44. James Berardinelli of Real Views called the film a tense and effective piece of filmmaking. He noted that the film's darker tone, somber subtext, and non-exploitative violence allowed the viewer to enjoy the film not only as an action/thriller but as something with a degree of intelligence and substance. On Stallone's performance, he wrote, "It seems impossible to imagine anyone other than Stallone in the part, and his capabilities as an actor should not be dismissed." 45. In the 2010 edition of his movie guide, Leonard Maltin gave the film 1.5 stars out of 4, saying that it throws all credibility to the winds about the time Rambo gets off with only a bad cut after jumping from a mountain into some jagged rocks. 46. Legacy. First Blood received the most positive reception of the Rambo franchise. The 4 sequels received mixed or average reviews. 47, 48, 49. In a 2011 article for Blade by Mike Carter, credit is given to Morrell and the Rambo franchise for revitalizing the cutlery industry in the 1980s due to the presence of the Jimmy Lyle and Gil Hibben knives used in the films. In 2003, Blade gave Morrell an Industry Achievement Award for having helped to make it possible. 50. Morrell said his being given the award is ironic because the knife was Sylvester Stallone's idea and does not appear in the novel. 5. Rambo's survival knife became an iconic movie weapon. In a July 28, 2013 auction, the original knife and its sheath were sold for $92,250, and even a set of 100 replicas of the knife produced by Lyle in 1982 have been valued at $45,000 each. 5. A writer from the American think tank Foundation for Economic Education commented that the sequence of events in the film are the result of police brutality. He goes on to say that Teasel's initial approach with Rambo was without reason, and that he could have driven him to the diner or simply left him alone. He assigned blame to Teasel's actions and compared the situation to a number of 21st century police encounters that turned deadly. 51. Sequel. Main article, Rambo, First Blood Part 2. A sequel titled Rambo, First Blood Part 2 was released in 1985. Home media. David Morrell recorded an audio commentary track for the First Blood Special Edition DVD released in 2002. Sylvester Stallone recorded an audio commentary track for the First Blood Ultimate Edition DVD released in 2004. This edition also includes the original ending in which Rambo commits suicide, and a humorous ending tacked on afterwards. A brief snippet of the suicide ending appears in a flashback in the fourth movie Rambo. Lionsgate also released this version on Blu-ray. Both commentary tracks are on the Blu-ray release. Momentum Pictures released an HD DVD version of First Blood in the United Kingdom in April 2007. Lionsgate also released First Blood as a double feature on February 13, 2007, along with 2004's The Punisher. 52 First Blood was released on 4K UHD Blu-ray on November 9, 2018. 53. Other media. Video game. Main article, Rambo, the video game. In 2014, Rambo, the video game was released, based on the first 3 Rambo films. Statue. On August 14, 2020, a cedar wood statue of Rambo was unveiled in Hope, Canada, 38 years after the film's release. Mayor Peter Robb, local MP Mark Strahl, and the statue's sculptor, Ryan Villers, attended the ceremony. 54. In popular culture. Son of Rambo, a 2007 British comedy film inspired by First Blood. In the 2008 Season 4 episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Mac and Dennis, manhunters, Mac, Rob McElhenney, and Dennis Reynolds, Glenn Howerton, are inspired by First Blood and decide to stage a manhunt against their former high school rival Rickety Cricket, David Hornsby. In the same episode, Frank Reynolds, Danny DeVito, also confuses his own life with that of First Blood and acts like he is having flashbacks to being in Vietnam. In 2017, It's a Long Road was used in the video game South Park, The Fractured But Whole. It appears when the player is killed and receives a game over. The Mountain Goats released the song First Blood on August 19, 2022, as part of the album Bleed Out, a reference to the movie. Sylvester Stallone, /Stallone, born July 6, 1946, is an American actor and filmmaker. In a film career spanning more than 50 years, Stallone has received numerous accolades, including a Golden Globe Award and a Critics' Choice Award, as well as nominations for 3 Academy Awards and 2 BAFTA Awards. Stallone is one of only 2 actors in history, alongside Harrison Ford, to have starred in a box office #1 film across 6 consecutive decades. 2 films in which he has appeared have grossed over $7.5 billion worldwide. 3. Struggling as an actor for a number of years upon moving to New York City in 1969, Stallone found gradual work in films such as The Lords of Flatbush, 1974. He achieved his greatest critical and commercial success starting in 1976 with his iconic role as boxer Rocky Balboa in the first film of the successful Rocky franchise, which he also wrote. In 1977, he became the 3rd actor in history to be nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Original Screenplay and Best Actor. He portrayed the PTSD-plagued soldier John Rambo in First Blood, 1982, a role he would play across 5 Rambo films, 1982 to 2019, which he also co-wrote. From the mid-1980s to the late 1990s, Stallone would go on to become one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, acting in action films such as Cobra, 1986, Tango and Cash, 1989, Cliffhanger, 1993, Demolition Man, 1993, and The Specialist, 1994. At the height of his career, Stallone was known for his rivalry with Arnold Schwarzenegger. 5. Stallone continued his established roles in Rocky Balboa, 2006, and Rambo, 2008, before launching the Expendables film franchise, 2010-present, in which he wrote most of the films and starred as the mercenary Barney Ross. In 2013, he starred in the successful film Escape Plan and appeared in its sequels. In 2015, he returned to Rocky again with Creed, in which a retired Rocky mentors former rival Apollo Creed's son Adonis Creed. The film brought Stallone widespread praise and his first Golden Globe Award, as well as a third Academy Award nomination, having been first nominated for the same role 40 years prior. He also starred in the sequel Creed II, 2018, and portrayed Staker Ogard in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 2017, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 2023. Regarded as an icon of action cinema, Stallone is credited with helping redefine the Hollywood action hero. 6-7-8 He has occasionally ventured from the action genre, with mixed results. He starred in the comedies Oscar, 1991, and Stop! Or My Mom Will Shoot, 1992. The first film failed at box office 9 but the second one had modest success. He also starred in the 1997 drama Copland, for which he temporarily shed his sculpted physique and gained weight for his role as a powerless sheriff. In television, he has starred in the Paramount Plus crime series Tulsa King, 2022, present. In addition to his film work, Stallone is a noted art collector and painter, and has written books on fitness. Early life. Sylvester Stallone 10-11-12 was born in the Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan, in New York City 13 on July 6, 1946 14 the elder son of celebrity astrologer and women's professional wrestling promoter Jacqueline Jackie Stallone, née Lavofish, 1921-2020, and hairdresser Francesco Frank Stallone Sr. 1919-2011, 15-16 who opened up and ran a group of hair salons in Maryland and was an avid polo player. 15-17 His mother was an American from Washington, D.C., with Breton French 18 and Ukrainian Jewish ancestry 1920-21 while his father was an Italian immigrant from Gioia del Colle 16 who moved to the U.S. in the 1930s. 22-23 His younger brother is actor and musician Frank Stallone. 16 Many biographies of Stallone indicate that his birth name is Michael Sylvester Stallone and his mother explained in an interview that she originally named him Tyrone because she admired the actor Tyrone Power, but Stallone's father changed it to Sylvester. His nickname as a child was Binky but he chose to go by the nickname of Mike/Michael after schoolmates began calling him Stinky. 10-11-12 His middle name Gardenzio is an alteration of the Italian given name Gaudenzio and he usually shortened it to Enzio. 24. Complications during Stallone's birth forced his mother's obstetricians to use 2 pairs of forceps while delivering him, accidentally severing a nerve in the process. 25-26 This caused paralysis of the lower left side of his face, including parts of his lip, tongue, and chin, which gave him his signature snarling look and slurred speech. 26-27 As a result, he was bullied in his childhood, with which he coped by getting into bodybuilding and acting. 28 A guidance counselor once told Stallone's mother, "Your son is suited to run a sorting machine or to be an assistant electrician, primarily in the area of elevator operations." Nevertheless, Sylvester aspired to be an actor and a screenwriter. 29. Stallone spent part of his infancy in foster and boarding care, rejoining and moving back with his family to Maryland when he was 5. In the early 1950s, his father moved the family to his mother's native Washington, D.C. to open a beauty school. In 1954, his mother opened a women's gym called Barbella's. 30-31 He initially stayed with his father following his parents' divorce when he was 11, but joined his remarried mother in Philadelphia when he was 15. 32. At one point, Stallone was voted most likely to end up in the electric chair in high school. 33 Nevertheless, Stallone attended Notre Dame Academy and Abraham Lincoln High School in Philadelphia. 34 and Charlotte Hall Military Academy in Charlotte Hall, Maryland, prior to attending Miami-Dade College. 35 He spent 2 years, from September 1965 to June 1967, at the American College of Switzerland. He returned to the United States to study as a drama major at the University of Miami, from 1967 to 1969, but did not graduate. 36 decades later, After Stallone's request that his acting and life experiences be accepted in exchange for his remaining needed college credits to graduate, he was granted a Bachelor of Fine Arts, BFA, degree by the University of Miami in 1998. 3738. Film and stage career. 1968 to 1976, early roles to breakthrough. Stallone as Rocky Balboa with Adrian, Talia Shire, in Rocky, 1976. Until 1969, he appeared on the stage under the name Mike Stallone. In 1970, he started using the stage name Sylvester E. Stallone. While attending the University of Miami, Stallone had a role in the drama That Nice Boy, aka The Square Root, filmed in 1968. 39-40-41. Moreover, he and John Hertzfeld worked together in 1969 on a low-budget self-produced film called Horses. 42. Stallone had his first starring role in the softcore pornography feature film The Party at Kitty and Studs, 1970. He was paid $200 for 2 days' work. 43. Stallone later explained that he had done the film out of desperation after being evicted from his apartment and finding himself homeless for several days. He has also said that he slept 3 weeks in the Port Authority bus terminal in New York City prior to seeing a casting notice for the film. In the actor's words, "It was either do that movie or rob someone, because I was at the end, the very end, of my rope." 44. The film was released several years later as Italian Stallion. In order to cash in on Stallone's newfound fame, the new title was taken from Stallone's nickname since Rocky. Stallone also starred in the erotic off-Broadway stage play Score, which ran for 23 performances at the Martinique Theater from October 28 to November 15, 1971, and was later made into the 1974 film Score by Radley Metzger. 45. After moving to New York City, Stallone shared an apartment with his girlfriend, Sasha Zak, an aspiring actress who supported them by working as a waitress. 46. Stallone took odd jobs around this time, including being a cleaner at a zoo, and a theater usher. He was fired from the latter for scalping tickets. He furthered his writing skills by frequenting a local library, and became interested in the works of Edgar Allan Poe. 47. In 1972, Stallone was on the verge of giving up on having an acting career. In what he later described as a low point, he tried and failed to get a job as an extra in The Godfather. 48-49. Instead, he was relegated to a background role in another Hollywood hit, What's Up, Doc?, starring Barbra Streisand. Stallone is hardly visible in his 2 appearances. Stallone happened to be acting in a play that a friend invited him to partake in, and an agent in attendance thought that Stallone fit the role of Stanley, a main character in The Lords of Flatbush, which had a start-stop schedule from 1972 to 1974 over budget issues. 50. Stallone, around mid-1973, achieved his first proper starring role, in the independent film No Place to Hide, playing a man who is associated with a New York-based urban terrorist movement, with a jewelry seller as his love interest. The film was recut and retitled Rebel years later, this second version featuring Stallone as its star. In 1990, this film was re-edited with outtakes from the original film and newly shot matching footage, then redubbed, in the style of Woody Allen's What's Up, Tiger Lily?, into a parody of itself titled A Man Called Rainbow. Stallone's other first few film roles were minor, and included brief uncredited appearances in MAS*H, 1970, as a soldier sitting at a table, Pigeons, 1970, as a party guest, Woody Allen's Bananas, 1971, as a subway thug, in the psychological thriller Clued, 1971, as an extra dancing in a club, and in the Jack Lemmon film The Prisoner of Second Avenue, 1975, as a youth. In the latter film, Jack Lemmon's character chases, tackles, and mugs Stallone, thinking that Stallone's character is a pickpocket. He had his second starring role in 1974, in The Lords of Flatbush. 26. In 1975, He played supporting roles in Farewell, My Lovely, Capone, and Death Race 2000. He made guest appearances on the TV series Police Story and Kojak. He is also supposedly in Mandingo. It is often said that his scene was deleted. 51. Stallone gained worldwide fame with his starring role in the smash hit Rocky, 1976, a sports drama about a struggling boxer, Rocky Balboa, taking on heavyweight champion Apollo Creed. 26. On March 24, 1975, Stallone saw the Muhammad Ali vs. Chuck Wenner fight. That night Stallone went home, and after 3 days he had completed the first draft of Rocky. 52. Stallone subsequently denied that Wenner provided any inspiration for the script. However, Wenner filed a lawsuit which was eventually settled with Stallone for an undisclosed amount. 53. 54 other possible inspirations for the film may have included Rocky Graziano's autobiography Somebody Up There Likes Me, and the film of the same name. Stallone attempted to sell the script to multiple studios, with the intention of playing the lead role himself. Irwin Winkler and Robert Chartoff became interested and offered Stallone $350,000 for the rights, but they had their own casting ideas for the lead role, including Robert Redford and Burt Reynolds. Stallone refused to sell unless he played the lead character, and, eventually, after a substantial budget cut to compromise, it was agreed he could be the star. 55. Upon its release, critic Roger Ebert stated that Stallone could become the next Marlon Brando. In 1977, at the 49th Academy Awards, Rocky was nominated for 10 Oscars, including Best Actor and Best Original Screenplay nominations for Stallone. The film went on to win the Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Directing, and Best Film Editing. Rocky has since been inducted into the National Film Registry and had its props placed in the Smithsonian Museum. Stallone's use of the front entrance to the Philadelphia Museum of Art in the Rocky series led the area to be nicknamed the Rocky Steps, where a statue of the character, owned by Stallone, stood at the bottom until 2026 except for a brief period where it was in South Philadelphia. 56. The character was also voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. 1978 to 1989, subsequent success. Stallone at the Ken Norton vs. Dwayne Bobby boxing match in 1977. Stallone made his directorial debut and starred in the 1978 film Paradise Alley, a family drama in which he played one of three brothers who get involved in professional wrestling. That same year, he starred in Norman Jewison's FIST, a social drama in which he plays a warehouse worker, very loosely modeled on James Hoffa, who becomes involved in labor union leadership. In 1979, he wrote, directed, replacing John Avildsen, and starred in Rocky II. The sequel became a major success, 26 grossing $200 million. In 1981, he starred alongside Michael Caine and soccer star Pelé in Escape to Victory, a sports drama in which he plays a prisoner of war involved in a Nazi propaganda soccer game. That same year, he starred in the thriller Nighthawks, in which he plays a New York City cop who plays a cat-and-mouse game with a foreign terrorist, played by Rutger Hauer. In 1982, Stallone starred as Vietnam veteran John Rambo, a former Green Beret, in the action film First Blood 26, an adaptation of the eponymous novel by David Morrell, though the script was significantly altered by Stallone during the film's production. 57, which was both a critical and box office success. Critics praised Stallone's performance, saying he made Rambo seem human, as opposed to the way he is portrayed in the book of the same name. It launched the Rambo franchise. That year Rocky III was released, in which Stallone wrote, directed, and starred. The second sequel became a box office success. In preparation for these roles, Stallone embarked upon a vigorous training regimen, which often meant 6 days a week in the gym and further sit UPS in the evenings. Stallone claims to have reduced his body fat percentage to his all-time low of 2.8% for Rocky III. 58. In 1983, he directed Staying Alive, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, starring John Travolta. This was the only film Stallone directed that he did not star in. Staying Alive was universally panned by film critics. 59. Despite being a critical failure, Staying Alive was a commercial success. The film opened with the biggest weekend for a musical film ever, at the time, with a gross of $12,146,143 from 1,660 screens. 60-61 overall, the film grossed nearly $65 million in the US box office against its $22 million budget. Worldwide it grossed $127 million. 62. Though the US box office intake was significantly less than the $139.50 million 63 earned by Saturday Night Fever, the film nevertheless ranked in the top 10 most financially successful films of 1983. During the 1980s, Stallone was considered one of the biggest action film stars in the world. 64. Along with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Schwarzenegger-Stallone rivalry continued for years. 65. They attacked each other in the press, and tried to surpass the other with more on-screen killings and larger weapons. 64. Stallone occasionally attempted, albeit unsuccessfully, roles in different genres. In 1984, he co-wrote and starred alongside Dolly Parton in the comedy film Rhinestone, where he played a wannabe country music singer. For the Rhinestone soundtrack, he performed a song. Stallone turned down the lead male role in Romancing the Stone in order to make Rhinestone instead, a decision he later regretted. 66. In 1985, Stallone continued his success with the Rocky and Rambo franchises with Rocky IV and Rambo, First Blood Part 2. Stallone has portrayed these two characters in a total of 13 films. Stallone met former Mr. Olympia Franco Columbu to develop his character's appearance for the film Rocky IV, just as if he were preparing for the Mr. Olympia competition. That meant 2 workouts a day, 6 days a week. 67. Both films were major financial successes. Stallone as John Rambo in Rambo 3, 1988. It was around 1985 that Stallone was signed to a remake of the 1939 James Cagney classic Angels with Dirty Faces. The film would form part of his multi-picture deal with Cannon Films and was to co-star Christopher Reeve and be directed by Menahem Golan. The remaking of such a beloved classic was met with disapproval by Variety and horror by top critic Roger Ebert. Cannon opted to make the action film Cobra, which was released in 1986 and became a box office success. It led to the setting up of his production company White Eagle Enterprises. 68. In 1987, he starred in the family drama Over the Top as a struggling trucker who tries to make amends with his estranged son and enters an arm wrestling competition. This was poorly received by critics and was a box office failure. 69. In 1989, he co-starred alongside Kurt Russell in the buddy cop action film Tango and Cash, which did solid business domestically and overseas, grossing $57 million in foreign markets and over $120 million worldwide. 70. Stallone became a boxing promoter in the 1980s. His boxing promoting company, Tiger Eye Productions, signed world champion boxers Sean O'Grady and Aaron Pryor. 71. 1990 to 1999, career fluctuations. Stallone began the 1990s starring in the 5th installment of the Rocky franchise, Rocky V. This film brought back the first film's director, John G. Avildsen, and was intended to be the final installment in the series at the time. It was considered a box office disappointment and received negative reviews. 72. Stallone next appeared in John Landis' period comedy Oscar, which was both a critical and box office failure. 73. In 1992, he appeared in Roger Spottiswoodi's action comedy Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot. 74. Which was also both a critical and box office disaster. Stallone signed onto the film based on rumors that Schwarzenegger was interested in the lead. Schwarzenegger said that, knowing the script's quality was poor, he publicly faked interest in starring for producers to lure Stallone. 64. In 1993, he made a comeback with Rennie Harlin's action thriller Cliffhanger 75, which was a success in the US, grossing $84 million and worldwide, grossing $171 million. 76 later that year, he starred in the futuristic action film Demolition Man, directed by Marco Brambilla, co-starring Wesley Snipes and Sandra Bullock. 77 on Rotten Tomatoes. The film has an approval rating of 60% based on 42 reviews, with an average rating of 5.43/10. The site's consensus reads, "A better than average sci-fi shoot 'em up with a satirical undercurrent. Demolition Man is bolstered by strong performances by Stallone, Snipes, and Bullock." 78. The film debuted at number 1 at the box office. 79. 81. Demolition Man grossed $58,055,768 by the end of its box office run in North America and $159,055,768 worldwide. 82. His string of hits continued with 1994's The Specialist, co-starring Sharon Stone and directed by Luis Loza, which opened in the US on October 7. 83. While the critical reception was overwhelmingly negative, 84. The film was a commercial success. 85. In its opening weekend it made $14,317,765 and ended up making back its budget with $57,362,582 at the domestic box office, while making another $113 million overseas, giving it a worldwide gross of $170,362,582. 86. Stallone at the 1993 Cannes Film Festival. In 1995, he played the title character, from the British comic book 2000 AD, in the science fiction action film Judge Dredd. His overseas box office appeal saved the domestic box office disappointment of Judge Dredd, which cost almost $100 million and barely made its budget back, with a worldwide tally of $113 million. Despite the film's poor box office performance, Stallone signed a 3-picture deal with Universal Pictures for $60 million, making him the second star after Jim Carrey to receive $20 million per film. The deal expired in February 2000 without him making any films, however, so he received no payment. 87. That year, he also appeared in the thriller Assassins with Julianne Moore and Antonio Banderas. That same year, Stallone, along with an all-star cast of celebrities, appeared in the Trey Parker and Matt Stone short comedy film Your Studio and You, commissioned by the Seagram Company for a party celebrating their acquisition of Universal Studios and the MCA Corporation. Stallone speaks in his Rocky Balboa voice with subtitles translating what he is saying. At one point, Stallone starts yelling about how can they use his Balboa character, that he left it in the past. The narrator calms him with a wine cooler and calling him Brainiac. In response, Stallone says, "Thank you very much." He then looks at the wine cooler and exclaims, "Stupid cheap studio." 88. In 1996, he starred in the disaster film Daylight as a disgraced former emergency services chief who attempts to rescue survivors of an underground tunnel explosion. Daylight also underperformed at the domestic box office, grossing $33 million, but did better overseas and grossed a total of $158 million worldwide. 89. In 1997, Stallone was cast against type as an overweight sheriff in the crime drama Copland, in which he starred alongside Robert De Niro and Ray Liotta. The film was critically well received and was a modest success at the box office, earning $63 million on a $15 million budget, and Stallone's performance earned him the Stockholm International Film Festival Best Actor Award. In 1998, he did voice-over work for the animated film Ants, which was a success domestically. 2000 to 2005, declining years. In 2000, Stallone starred in the thriller Get Carter, a remake of the 1971 British film of the same name, but the film was poorly received by both critics and audiences. Stallone's career declined considerably after his subsequent films Driven, 2001, Avenging Angelo, 2002, and Detox, 2002, were also critical and commercial failures. In 2003, he played a villainous role in the third installment of the Spy Kids series, Spy Kids 3D, Game Over, which was a huge box office success, almost $200 million worldwide. Stallone also had a cameo appearance in the 2003 French film Taxi 3 as a passenger. Also that year, Stallone started to regain prominence for his supporting role in the neo-noir crime drama Shade, which was only released in a limited fashion but was praised by critics. 90 He was also attached to star and direct a film tentatively titled Rampart Scandal, which was to be about the murder of rappers Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. and the surrounding Los Angeles Police Department corruption scandal. 91 It was later titled Notorious but was shelved. 92. In 2005, alongside Sugar Ray Leonard, he was the co-presenter of the NBC reality television boxing competition series The Contender. That same year he also made a guest appearance in 2 episodes of the television series Las Vegas. That year, Stallone also inducted professional wrestling icon Hulk Hogan, who appeared in Rocky III as a wrestler named Thunder Lips, into the WWE Hall of Fame. Stallone was also the person who offered Hogan the cameo in Rocky III. 93 In August, Stallone released his book Sly Moves, which claimed to be a guide to fitness and nutrition as well as a candid insight into his life and works from his own perspective. The book also contained many photographs of Stallone throughout the years as well as pictures of him performing exercises. 2006, present, franchise films. 16 years after filming Rocky V, Stallone reprised his role as Rocky Balboa in 2006. After a 3-year hiatus from films, Stallone had a comeback in 2006 with the 6th installment of the Rocky series, Rocky Balboa, which was a critical and commercial hit. After the critical and box office failure of the previous installment Rocky V, Stallone had decided to write, direct and star in a 6th installment which would be a more appropriate climax to the series. The total domestic box office came to $70.3 million and $155.7 million worldwide. 94 The budget of the film was only $24 million. His performance in Rocky Balboa has been praised and garnered mostly positive reviews. 95 That year, the development Death Wish remake began, when Stallone announced that he would be directing and starring in a remake of the 1974 film. Stallone said, "Instead of the Charles Bronson character being an architect, my version would have him as a very good cop who had incredible success without ever using his gun. So when the attack on his family happens, he's really thrown into a moral dilemma in proceeding to carry out his revenge." He later told the publication that he was no longer involved. 96-97 In a 2009 interview with MTV, though, Stallone stated that he was again considering the project. 98 However, the role went to Bruce Willis, with Eli Roth as director. Stallone partnered with a beverage company producing an upscale bottled water brand called Sly Water. 99. In 2006, Stallone expressed his desire to direct a film about Moussa Dak, adapted by Franz Werfel's novel The 40 Days of Moussa Dak, detailing the genocide of its Armenian community in 1915. 100. In 2008, Stallone reprised his other famous role in the 4th installment of the Rambo franchise, titled simply Rambo, John Rambo in some countries where the first film was titled Rambo. The film opened in 2,751 theaters on January 25, 2008, grossing $6,490,000 on its opening day and $18,200,000 over its opening weekend. Its box office was $113,244,290 worldwide with a budget of $50 million. In July 2009, Stallone made a cameo appearance in the Bollywood film Kam Back Ishq, where he played himself. 101. Stallone in 2009 at the 66th Venice International Film Festival. It was announced on December 7, 2010, that Stallone was voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in the non-participant category. 102. Also that year, Stallone wrote, directed and starred in the ensemble action film The Expendables. The film, which was filmed during summer/winter 2009, was released on August 13, 2010. Joining him in the film were fellow action stars Jason Statham, Jet Li, and Dolph Lundgren, as well as Terry Crews, Mickey Rourke, Randy Couture, Eric Roberts, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and cameos by fellow 80s action icons Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger. 103. The film took $34,825,135 in its opening weekend, going straight in at number 1 in the US box office. The figure marked the biggest opening weekend in Stallone's career. 104. In summer 2010, Brazilian company O2 Filmace released a statement saying it was still owed more than $2 million for its work on the film. 105. In 2011, Stallone provided the voice of a lion in Kevin James' comedy Zookeeper. The Expendables 2 was released August 17, 2012. The sequel received a positive critical reception of 67% on Rotten Tomatoes 106 as opposed to the original's 41%. 107. As well as returning cast members from the first film, the ensemble cast also included Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris. That year, Stallone co-wrote the book for the Broadway musical adaptation of Rocky. Stallone, Center, with the cast of The Expendables at Comic-Con 2010. In 2013, Stallone starred in the action film Bullet to the Head, directed by Walter Hill, based upon Alexis Nolan's French graphic novel Du Plomb dans la tête. 108. Also in 2013, he starred in the action thriller Escape Plan, along with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Caviezel, and in the sports comedy drama Grudge Match alongside Robert De Niro, harkening back to the Rocky franchise. Stallone was reported to be developing an English-language remake of the Spanish film No Rest for the Wicked, though the project was shelved. 109. 110. That year Stallone was credited as writer for the Jason Statham action film vehicle Homefront. The Expendables 3, the third installment in the ensemble action film series, was released on August 15, 2014. The returning ensemble cast also added Wesley Snipes, Antonio Banderas, Mel Gibson, and Harrison Ford. This film was negatively received by both critics and audiences and became the lowest-grossing film in the series. 111. Stallone promoting The Expendables 3 at the 2014 Cannes Film Festival. In 2015, Stallone reprised his role as Rocky Balboa in a spin-off sequel film, Creed, which focused on Adonis Donnie Creed, the son of his deceased friend/rival, Apollo Creed, becoming a professional boxer, played by Michael B. Jordan. The film, directed by Ryan Coogler, received critical acclaim. Portraying the iconic cinematic boxer for the 7th time in a span of 40 years, Stallone's portrayal of the character received widespread acclaim and accolades, including the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor, and his third Academy Award nomination, this time for Best Supporting Actor. In 2017, Stallone appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as Staker Ogord/Starhawk, the leader of a Ravagers faction. 112. In 2018, he co-starred in Escape Plan 2, Hades with Dave Bautista, which was released straight to home video. Upon wrapping production, he announced via his social media page that work on the third movie titled Escape Plan, The Extractors, began immediately thereafter. 113. In July, Stallone announced that he had finished a script for a sequel to Creed, with a plot including the return of Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. 114. That year, Stallone was featured in Derek Wayne Johnson's John G. Avildsen, King of the Underdogs, a documentary about director John G. Avildsen. 115. Creed 2 went into production in March 2018, with a scheduled release on Thanksgiving 2018. Stallone was originally slated to direct before the appointment of Stephen Caple Jr., in his feature film directorial debut. 116 Creed 2 was released in the United States by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer on November 21, 2018. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, and it went on to debut to $35.3 million in its opening weekend, a 5-day total of $55.8 million, marking the biggest debut ever for a live-action release over Thanksgiving. 118. On July 23, 2019, in an interview with Variety, Stallone said that a Rocky sequel and prequel are in development. Producer Irwin Winkler said, "We're very high on it and that negotiations are underway for Stallone to write and star in the feature. We're very anxious to make it." Stallone said the plot of the film would be about Rocky befriending a young fighter who is an undocumented immigrant. Rocky meets a young, angry person who got stuck in this country when he comes to see his sister. He takes him into his life, and unbelievable adventures begin, and they wind up south of the border. It's very, very timely, Stallone said. Stallone also said there are ongoing discussions about a Rocky prequel television series, which he hopes will land on a streaming service, and the series will likely follow a young Rocky Balboa as a professional boxing hopeful. Stallone said producer Irwin Winkler is hesitant on making the series, saying that there was some conflict there. Yes. He felt in his mind that Rocky was primarily a feature film, and he didn't see it as being translated for cable, so there was a big bone of contention. 120. That year, Stallone handpicked Derek Wayne Johnson to direct and produce a documentary on the making of the original Rocky, entitled 40 Years of Rocky, 2020. The documentary features Stallone narrating behind-the-scenes footage from the making of the film. 121. Stallone formed a film studio named Balboa Productions with Braden Aftergood in March 2018, where Stallone will serve as co-producer for each of their projects. The studio signed a multi-year collaboration deal with Starlight Culture Entertainment to develop projects for film and television. 122. In May 2018, a fifth installment in the Rambo franchise was announced, and in August 2018, Adrian Grunberg was confirmed as the director. 123. Rambo: Last Blood began filming by September 2018, with a script co-written by Stallone, who also reprised his role as Vietnam War veteran John Rambo. 124. The plot centers around Rambo infiltrating a Mexican drug cartel to rescue a family friend's daughter. 125. The film, which was released on September 20, 2019, in the United States 126 grossed $18.9 million in its opening weekend, the best debut of the franchise. 127. 128. The film grossed $91 million worldwide against a production budget of $50 million. In late 2020, Stallone lent his voice as Rambo to the fighting video game Mortal Kombat 11, as part of the game's second combat pack. 129. In 2021, he voiced King Shark in the DC Extended Universe film The Suicide Squad. 130. In 2022, Stallone starred in Samaritan, a dark interpretation of the superhero genre, from a script written by Bragi Scoot. 131. In November 2022, Stallone made his streaming television debut in Tulsa King, in which he plays a mafia boss. The 9-episode series was created by Taylor Sheridan and Terrence Winter and premiered on Paramount+. 132. A second season premiered on September 15, 2024, with a third season set to premiere in 2026. In May 2023, Stallone and his immediate family, wife and 3 daughters, starred in a reality television series The Family Stallone. 7 days after launch, the series was renewed for a second season. That same month, Stallone reprised his role as Staker Ogard in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 133. Sly, a documentary film about Stallone by Tom Simney, premiered as the closing film of the 2023 Toronto International Film Festival. 134. In October 2023, he reprised role as Barney Ross in Expend4bles, which was a critical and commercial failure, surpassing The Expendable 3 to become the lowest grossing film in the franchise. 135. Upcoming projects. Following the releases of Creed 2 and Rambo v. Last Blood, Balboa Productions has had an extensive production slate. A film depicting the life of Jack Galveston Giant Johnson, the first African-American boxing heavyweight champion, is in development. The project was announced after Stallone's instrumental involvement in helping get Johnson a posthumous pardon from U.S. President Donald Trump. 136. Stallone is also scheduled to star in the film adaptation of Hunter, a story which had originally been planned as the premise for Rambo v. Last Blood. The story centers around Nathaniel Hunter, a professional tracker who is hired to hunt a half-human beast created as an experiment of a secret agency. A feature-length adaptation of the biographical novel Ghost, My 30 Years as an FBI Undercover Agent by Michael McGowan and Ralph Pezzullo about McGowan's career of over 50 undercover missions will follow, though there is no screenwriter attached to the project. Additionally, a film centered around Black Ops troops, being written by retired Army Ranger Max Adams, is also in development. Stallone wrote A Working Man in collaboration with David Ayer from a book series created by Chuck Dixon, which was initially intended to be a television series, but later became a feature film starring Jason Statham. 137. The television production slate includes a series adaptation of Charles Saylor's Second Son being written by Rob Williams. 138. In May 2020, Stallone announced that a sequel to 1993's Demolition Man is in the works. I think it's coming. We're working on it right now with Warner Brothers. It's looking fantastic. So, that should come out, that's going to happen. 139. Stallone has continued to express his passion in directing a film based on Edgar Allan Poe's life, a script he has been preparing for years. He has also mentioned that he would like to adapt Nelson DeMille's novel The Lion's Game. In March 2026, it was announced by TMZ that Stallone and Quentin Tarantino would co-direct and co-write a 6-part miniseries featuring gangsters, showgirls, boxing, and music. 140. The series is set to be shot in black and white, using 1930s cameras. 141. Multiple tasks in media. In 1977, for the first Rocky, Stallone became the third man in history to receive the 2 nominations for Best Actor and Best Screenplay, after Charlie Chaplin and Orson Welles. 142. Stallone is known for his recurring roles as Rocky Balboa, John Rambo, and Barney Ross. Stallone wrote and starred in all of 6 Rocky films, while directing 4 of the sequels. Stallone starred in and co-wrote the 5 films of the Rambo franchise and also directed the 4th one. Stallone wrote, directed, and took the lead role in the first installment of the Expendables films. Stallone directed, wrote, and starred in Paradise Alley. John Travolta starred in Staying Alive, a sequel of Saturday Night Fever, which Stallone wrote and directed. Stallone wrote and starred in Cobra, and Driven. Stallone co-wrote and starred in Fist, Rhinestone, Over the Top, Cliffhanger, and Creed 2. Citation needed. Asked in February 2008 which of the icons, Rocky or Rambo, he would rather be remembered for, Stallone said it's a tough one, but Rocky is my first baby, so Rocky. 143. He also stated that Rocky could be interpreted as the conscious and Rambo as the unconscious of the same character. 144. Stallone has occasionally sung in his films. He sang Too Close to Paradise for Paradise Alley, 1978, with the music provided by Bill Conti, who also collaborated with Stallone in prior years, having recorded the famous Gonna Fly Now theme for his Academy Award-nominated film, Rocky, 1976, which was a US #1 hit. 145 in Rocky III, 1982, Stallone, as Rocky Balboa, sang "Take Me Back" to his on-screen wife, Adrian, Talia Shire, as they lay in bed. The song was first performed by singer and younger brother, Frank, who had a small role in the original Rocky. For Rhinestone, 1984, Stallone sang such songs as Drinkenstein as well as duets with his co-star, an actual country music star, Dolly Parton. 146 He also performed 2 songs when he guest starred on The Muppet Show in the 1980s, at the height of his career. 147 The last time Stallone sang in a film was in Grudge Match, 2013, when he and Robert De Niro performed the Star-Spangled Banner together. 148. Personal life. Marriages and children. Stallone, right, with then-wife Bridget Nielsen, second from right, President Ronald Reagan, and First Lady Nancy Reagan at the White House in 1985. Stallone has been married 3 times. He has 2 sons from his first marriage and 3 daughters from his third marriage. At age 28, on December 28, 1974, he married Sasha Zak. They had 2 sons, Sage Moonblood Stallone, 1976 to 2012, who died of heart disease at age 36, and Sergio, B. 1979, who was diagnosed with autism at an early age. Sergio also made a cameo as Rocky Balboa's son in Rocky II as an infant. The couple divorced on February 14, 1985. Stallone married model and actress Bridget Nielsen on December 15, 1985, in Beverly Hills, California. The marriage lasted 2 years and the subsequent divorce was highly publicized by the tabloid press. 149 150 151. In 1988, Stallone met model Jennifer Flavin and they were in a relationship until 1994, when Stallone told her he was having a child with model Janice Dickinson. After the February 1994 birth, DNA tests confirmed he was not the father and Stallone ended his engagement to Dickinson. After a brief 1995 engagement with model Angie Everhart, he and Flavin rekindled their relationship. In May 1997, Stallone and Jennifer Flavin married. The couple has 3 daughters, Sophia, Sistine, and Scarlett. 152 His daughters were chosen to share the role of Golden Globe Ambassador at the 74th Golden Globe Awards. 153 On August 19, 2022, Palm Beach County records showed that after 25 years of marriage, Jennifer Flavin had filed for dissolution of marriage and other relief. 154 155 On September 23, 2022, the couple reconciled. 156. Family and friends. Stallone maintains a relationship with his brother Frank, who contributed the theme songs to Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and Staying Alive. In 1983, Frank's song Far From Over, for Staying Alive, reached the number 10 US hit. Frank appears in minor roles, bit parts, and provides music in many films starring Sylvester, most notably in the Rocky films, where Frank played a street corner singer and contributed songs. 157 Stallone's 48-year-old half-sister, Toni Ann Filati, died of lung cancer on August 26, 2012. 158 Stallone was a close friend of Joe Spinell, but they had a falling out during the shooting of their final collaboration, Nighthawks, in 1981, and Spinell died in 1989. 159. Injuries. Known for physically demanding roles and his willingness to do the majority of his own stunts, Stallone has suffered various injuries during his acting career. During the filming of Escape to Victory, he broke a finger trying to save a penalty kick against Pelé. 164 A scene in Rocky IV, he told Dolph Lundgren, "Punch me as hard as you can in the chest." He later said, "Next thing I know, I was in intensive care at St. John's Hospital for 4 days. It's stupid." 162. While filming a fight scene with Stone Cold Steve Austin for The Expendables, he broke his neck and required the insertion of a metal plate. 163. Legal issues. In February 2001, an exotic dancer named Margie Carr filed a lawsuit against Stallone, accusing him of rape while at a Santa Monica fitness center where they both worked out on February 26, 2000. A lawyer for Stallone denied the claim, saying she sold the story to Globe the month before the lawsuit. 164, 165, 166. In 2007, customs officials in Australia discovered 48 vials of the synthetic human growth hormone gintropin in Stallone's luggage. 167. In a court hearing on May 15, he pleaded guilty to 2 charges of possessing a controlled substance. 168. In 2013, it was reported that Stallone paid a $2 million lump sum settlement alongside a monthly amount and a trust for psychiatric and medical expenses to his half-sister Toni Ann Filitti in 1987. Filitti threatened to file a lawsuit accusing him of abuse. Representatives for Stallone and Filitti's mother Jacqueline Stallone denied the allegations, accusing Filitti of blackmailing him and being a drug addict. However, Filitti's son, Ed Filitti, supported the claims, saying his mother screamed about abuse at the hands of her half-brother over and over, before her death in 2012. 169, 165. In 2016, a report from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department was published stating that Stallone was accused of sexual assault by a 16-year-old girl while he was shooting a film in Las Vegas in 1986. The teen reportedly said that Stallone, then 40, forced her into a threesome with his bodyguard. 170. A representative for Stallone denied the allegation. 171. Stallone's ex-wife, Bridget Nielsen, later came to his defense, saying that she was with him at the time of the alleged assault. Stallone's over-the-top co-star David Mendenhall also defended Stallone, denying claims that he introduced Stallone to the girl in question. 172. In November 2017, a woman accused Stallone of sexually assaulting her at his Santa Monica office in the early 1990s. Stallone denied the claim. 173. His attorney revealed the accuser filed a report after an entertainment website declined to pick up the story. 174. Stallone's attorneys also stated that while the actor had a consensual relationship with the accuser in 1987, they had 2 witnesses who refuted the claims. 175. In June 2018, the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office confirmed an investigation, stating that the Santa Monica Police Department had presented a sex crimes case against Stallone to a special prosecution task force for review. 176. In October 2018, the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office made the decision not to charge Stallone for the alleged assault, as no witnesses corroborated the allegations. Stallone in turn filed a police report regarding her lying on an official document. 177, 178. Religious views. Stallone was baptized and raised a devout Catholic but stopped going to church as his acting career progressed. He rediscovered his childhood faith when his daughter was born ill in 1996, and he again became a strict Catholic by late 2006. 179. The same year, he was interviewed by Pat Robertson from the Christian Broadcasting Network's 700 Club. He stated that he spent much of his previous time in Hollywood losing his way because temptation abounded, but later put things in God's hands. 180. However, he told GQ magazine in 2010, "I'm pretty spiritual, I believe a lot in the spirit of man. I'm certainly not an atheist. I was baptized Catholic, but I don't belong to a structured church. I have no opposition to it. I think there's great nuggets of knowledge in there, some wonderful rules to live by. Then the flip side is the amount of agony that's caused." 181. As of 2023, Stallone is a church-going Catholic again. 182. Politics. Stallone has supported several Republican politicians but does not identify as a member of the Republican Party. 183. He has also donated to the Democratic National Committee and to Democrats, including Senators Joe Biden and Chris Dodd. 184. He is a staunch advocate of gun control despite his otherwise conservative views, and has been described as the most anti-gun celebrity in Hollywood. 185. In 1994, Stallone donated $1,000 to Republican Congressman Rick Santorum's Senate campaign. 186. In 2008, Stallone endorsed John McCain for that year's presidential election. In 2015, upon the advice of a Vedic scholar, Stallone performed a Hindu Tithi Shraddh ritual, done for those who died by accident or murder, at Haridwar for his son Sage. 187. Stallone expresses support for recognition of the Armenian genocide. 188. 100. He has also attended the 2017 film premiere for The Promise, a movie set during the genocide. 189. In the run-up to the 2016 presidential election, Stallone described Donald Trump as a Dickensian character and larger than life but did not endorse Trump or anyone else in the Republican primaries. 183. That same year, he declined an offer to become chair of the National Endowment for the Arts, citing a desire to work on issues related to veterans. 190. In 2023, Stallone donated $11,600 to independent Senator Kirsten Sinema's re-election campaign in Arizona. 191. Later that year, he and his family spent time with Pope Francis in a private meeting at the Vatican. 192. After Trump's win in the 2024 election, Stallone attended an event at Mar-a-Lago. 193. During a speech, Stallone praised Trump as a mythical character and the second George Washington. He also compared him to his character Rocky Balboa. 194. On January 16, 2025, it was announced by Trump that Stallone would serve in a new role as a special ambassador to Hollywood, sharing the role with fellow actors Jon Voight and Mel Gibson. Trump stated that he wants these actors to make Hollywood stronger than ever before by bringing back business lost to foreign countries. Richard Donald Crenna, November 30, 1926 to January 17, 2003, was an American actor and television director. 2. Crenna starred in such motion pictures as Made in Paris, 1966, The Sand Pebbles, 1966, Marooned, 1969, Breakheart Pass, 1975, The Evil, 1978, The Flamingo Kid, 1984, Summer Rental, 1985, and Sabrina, 1995. His first success came on radio in 1948 as high school student Walter Denton co-starring with Eve Arden and Gail Gordon in the series Our Miss Brooks. Crenna continued with the comedy in its 1952 move into television. He also starred as Luke McCoy in the television series The Real McCoys, 1957 to 1963. In 1985, he won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie for his portrayal of the title role in The Rape of Richard Beck, 1985. He gained further notoriety for his role as Colonel Sam Trotman in the first 3 Rambo films, 1982 to 1988. Early life. Crenna was born November 30, 1926, in Los Angeles, the only child of Edith Josephine, née Paulette, who was a hotel manager in Los Angeles, and Dominic Anthony Crenna, a pharmacist. His parents were both of Italian descent. 3. Crenna attended Virgil Junior High School, followed by Belmont Senior High School in Los Angeles, from which he graduated in 1944. He served in the United States Army during World War II, entering the Army in February 1945 and serving until August 1946. 4. After his Army service, Crenna attended the University of Southern California, USC, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in English Literature, and he was a member of Kappa Sigma fraternity. 4-5. Acting career. Crenna and Kathleen Nolan in The Real McCoys, 1960. Radio years. Crenna got his acting start on radio. In 1937, he had gained his first role, that of the kid who did everything wrong on Boy Scout Jamboree, a show on which he continued to appear occasionally in numerous roles until 1948. In the following year, he started playing Walter Bronco Thompson on The Great Gildersleeve, a role he played until 1954. He also originated the role of geeky Walter Denton on the radio comedy Our Miss Brooks alongside Eve Arden and Gail Gordon in 1948, and followed that role when the series moved to television in 1952. He remained in that role until 1957. He appeared as a delivery boy in My Favorite Husband, episode Liz Cooks Dinner for 12, was O.G. Pringle on A Date with Judy, episode The Competitive Diet, among several other episodes of the show, and as a teenager on The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show, episode Watching the Neighbor's Daughter. Early television years. Crenna played Walter Denton on radio's Our Miss Brooks, remaining with the cast when it moved into television in 1952. He remained with the show until a 1955 change moved Mississippi Brooks to a grade school. He guest starred on the I Love Lucy episode The Young Fans, with Janet Waldo, and on the 1955-56 anthology series Frontier 6 Better Source Needed in the lead role of the episode titled The 10 Days of John Leslie. In 1955, he was the guest star on The Millionaire in the episode The Ralph McKnight Story. Crenna and Bernadette Peters in All's Fair, 1976. Crenna appeared in 1956 on the television series Father Knows Best in the episode The Promising Young Man as a young man named Woody. In 1957, he played a bank robber on Cheyenne, Season 2, Episode 19. 6 Better Source Needed. After Our Miss Brooks was cancelled in 1957, Crenna joined the cast of the comedy series The Real McCoys as Luke McCoy. His co-star was Walter Brennan, who played Grandpa Amos McCoy. Crenna ultimately became one of the series' 4 directors during its 6-year run, 1957 to 1963. 7. 1960s to 1970s. Credited as Dick Crenna, he directed 8 episodes of The Andy Griffith Show during its 1963 to 1964 season, including Opie the Birdman, The Sermon for Today, and the Gomer Pyle-instigated citizen's arrest. Crenna also directed Hen House, a 1977 episode of Lou Grant. 4. Crenna portrayed California State Senator James Slattery in the series Slattery's People, 1964 to 1965. For his acting in the series, he was twice nominated for an Emmy Award with slightly different names, for outstanding individual achievements in entertainment and for outstanding continued performance by an actor in a leading role in a dramatic series, both in 1965. 8. Crenna was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best TV Star, Male for this same role in 1965. In 1966, Crenna played beside Steve McQueen as an ill-fated captain of an American gunboat in 1920s China in the Sand Pebbles. 7. He co-starred with Audrey Hepburn in the 1967 thriller Wait Until Dark. Crenna in 1998. During the 1970s, Crenna continued acting in Western dramas such as The Deserter, Catlow 9, The Man Called Noon 10 and Break Hard Pass. He made a notable performance in Jean-Pierre Melville's final film Unflick in 1972. In 1976, Crenna returned to weekly network television in the sitcom All's Fair, a political satire co-starring Bernadette Peters. Despite high expectations and good critical reviews, it lasted just a single season. The 1978 miniseries Centennial, based on James A. Michener's historical novel of the same name, saw Crenna in the role of deranged religious fanatic Colonel Frank Skimmerhorn, who ordered the 1864 massacre of Colorado American Indians. 6 Better Source Needed. 1980s, early 2000s. In 1981, He played Kathleen Turner's doomed husband in Lawrence Kasdan's Body Heat. Crenna won an Emmy Award for and a Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Mini-Series or Motion Picture Made for Television nomination for his performance in the title role of the 1985 film The Rape of Richard Beck. 11. Crenna played John Rambo's ex-commanding officer Colonel Sam Trotman 12 in the first 3 Rambo films, a role for which he was hired after Kirk Douglas left the production a day into filming. Trotman became the veteran actor's most famous role. His performance received wide critical praise. 13. He also spoofed the character in Hot Shots Part 2 in 1993. 14-15. Crenna starred as NYPD Lieutenant of Detectives Frank Janek in a series of 7 popular made-for-television films, beginning in 1988 and ending in 1994. The character of Janek had originally appeared in a series of novels by William Baer. 16-17. In 2001, Crenna played U.S. President Ronald Reagan in the Showtime film The Day Reagan Was Shot, a fictionalized account of the attempted assassination of Reagan in 1981. Legacy. Crenna was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6714 Hollywood Boulevard. William Dennison McKinney, September 12, 1931 to December 1, 2011, was an American character actor. He played the sadistic mountain man in John Boorman's 1972 film Deliverance and appeared in 7 Clint Eastwood films, most notably as Captain Terrell, the commander pursuing the last rebels to hold out against surrendering to the Union forces in the outlaw Josie Wales. Early life. William Dennison McKinney was born September 12, 1931, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He had an unsettled life as a child, moving 12 times. At the age of 19, he joined the Navy during the Korean War. He served 2 years on a minesweeper in Korean waters, and was stationed at Port Hueneme in Ventura County, California. After being discharged in 1954, he settled in California, attending acting school at the Pasadena Playhouse in 1957. His classmates included Dustin Hoffman and Mako Iwamatsu. During this time, McKinney became an arborist to earn money, a job which he would hold until the mid-1970s. 2. Career. After the Pasadena Playhouse, McKinney moved on to Lee Strasberg's Actors Studio, making his movie debut in exploitation Picture Freak, 1967. For 10 years he was a teacher at Cave Spring Middle School. He made his television debut in 1968 on an episode of The Monkees and attracted attention as Lobo in Alias Smith and Jones. The film Deliverance, 1972, proved to be his breakthrough, playing the backwoods mountain man who violently rapes Ned Beatty's character. 1. McKinney's other films in the early 1970s included appearances in Junior Bonner, 1972, 3 The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean, 1972, and The Parallax View, 1974. 4. It was with Clint Eastwood that McKinney would become most associated, becoming part of Eastwood's stock company after they worked together in Michael Cimino's Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, 1974. 3-5. He appeared in The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, under Eastwood's direction. 3. He appeared in 6 more Eastwood films, including The Gauntlet, 1977, Every Which Way But Loose, 1978, Any Which Way You Can, 1980, and Pink Cadillac, 1989. 4. Other memorable roles include Jay Cobb, who was done in by John Wayne in Wayne's final film The Shootist, 1976. He also appeared in such later films as First Blood, 1982, Back to the Future Part 3, 1990, and The Green Mile, 1999. He appeared in the television film The Execution of Private Slovak, 1974, and guest starred on such television shows as Sarah, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, Starsky and Hutch, The A-Team, Hunter, Murder, She Wrote, Columbo, Swan Song and In the Heat of the Night. 4. McKinney took up singing in the late 1990s. eventually releasing an album of standards and country and western songs appropriately titled Love Songs from Antry, reflecting Don Jobs' pronunciation of the infamous town featured in Deliverance. One of his songs featured in the film Undertow, directed by David Gordon Green. 5. He voiced Jonah Hex in an episode of Batman, the animated series called Showdown. He appeared in a cameo in 2001 Maniacs, 2005, and had a role in the Robin Hood-inspired horror film Sherwood Horror, 2010. 6-7. Death. On December 1, 2011, McKinney died from esophageal cancer at his home in San Fernando, California. He was 80. McKinney's death was announced on his Facebook page on the same day. The announcement read 8/9/10. Today our dear Bill McKinney passed away at Valley Presbyterian Hospice. An avid smoker for 25 years of his younger life, he died of cancer of the esophagus. He was 80 and still strong enough to have filmed a Doritos commercial 2 weeks prior to his passing, and he continued to work on his biography with his writing partner. Hopefully 2012 will bring a publisher for the wild ride his life was. He is survived by son Clinton, along with several ex-wives. R.I.P. Bill. September 12, 1931, December 1, 2011. Chris Mulkey, born May 3, 1948, is an American film and television actor and blues and Americana singer-songwriter. Career. Mulkey played the supporting role of husband to Annie Potts's character in Any Day Now from 1998 to 2002. He has also appeared in Captain Phillips' One Against the Wall, Cloverfield, the NBC TV movie Knight Rider, 24, Boardwalk Empire, One Friday Night Lights, Boomtown, Justified, Beretta, and Twin Peaks. 1. He played the main character in the controversial 1985 Supertramp music video Brother Where You Bound. 2. He appeared in the Wing Commander franchise as Jacob Hawk Manley. He co-starred with John Jenkins and Karen Landry in the 1988 indie film Patty Rocks. 3. He appeared in the science fiction action film The Hidden, and the 1989 sci-fi cop film K-9000. 4. He has appeared in more recent films as The Purge, Slow Burn, Sanitarium, The Identical and On the Basis of Sex. In 2014, he had a cameo role in Whiplash. His Southern blues band is called Chris Mulkey and Blue Highway. John McLean, born John Williams, January 24, 1918 to April 16, 1994, was a Canadian actor noted for his skill at different accents. 1. His film appearances include